Coming up here, digital banking platform Q2 entering a new frontier in financial services. After the break, we're discussing the new product allowing fintechs more customization for its users. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Cheddar's Opening Bell. Q2 Holdings, one of the leading providers of digital solutions for the banking and lending industry, is launching a new product to improve the customer experience. While Q2's digital banking platform focuses on serving the needs of banks and credit unions, the introduction of Helix allows for fintechs and consumer brands to offer banking products that are personalized to serve the unique needs of their actual users. Here to discuss is Ahon Sarkar, General Manager at Q2. Ahon, tell us a little bit more about Helix and how the technology here works.
Sure thing. Helix is one of the largest banking-as-a-service platforms in the country, quietly powering innovative companies that you've probably heard of, from Credit Karma and Acorns to Betterment and Gusto, as they launch unique embedded finance products that serve millions of people across the country. Like you mentioned, we're a part of Q2, which is a publicly traded fintech based out of Austin, Texas, and a leading provider of digital transformation solutions for digital banking and lending. So between Q2 and Helix, we're powering a bit of the convergence that you're seeing in the industry between traditional financial institutions and fintechs, technology companies, and brands, and helping both sides come together in an effort to make the economy a little bit more human.
As you noted there, fintechs like Acorn are already using Helix. So how are companies then, actually implementing this technology to one's current offerings? And then what's the consumer experience like?
Yeah, that's a great question. For the first piece of it, we have basically an API-first core that's built in the cloud. And so these companies basically code to our technology using the standard REST API calls, and they partner with one of our partner banks to basically launch these banking services. When it comes to the experience, though, it's highly custom and highly personal. So I talked about a handful of those companies. Those companies are looking at their overall ecosystem, thinking about how can I build something unique that solves a real problem for my customers, and building an experience around that. So when you look at some of those products today in the market, they might look a little unique and feel a little bit different because those companies have spent a ton of time thinking about how to build a unique experience on top of our API platform.
What are the challenges then, that comes with kind of making banking and financing more personable for users?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think historically, consumer banking has been a bit of a one-size-fits-all, right? You get product A or product B, and the only thing that determines which one you get is how much money you have. The reality is you and I are different, and so is everybody else. And people have unique needs and unique problems. But the challenge has been the technology until now didn't allow companies or banks to necessarily build around the specific needs of each user. It caused them to retrofit these consumers into existing products. So by evolving that platform, right, by building something that lets companies use the unique context they have to build customized products down for each user, we're trying to make finance a little bit more personal and make it more human, where the companies understand you and they build products that actually serve what you're looking to serve today.
Considering some of the trends that we have seen in this space, I wonder, as more products and services enter the market, is there a concern that companies are going to have to continuously just do more to engage and retain customers just outside of bolstering their technology?
I think that's a great question. I mean, if you rewind just 5 years, the only people that launched banking products were banks. But today, if you look across the market, you'll see Square and Credit Karma and Chime and Affirm and Apple and all these other companies that are launching financial products. The reality is platforms like Helix have made it possible for these companies to launch banking for the first time. And so over the last 5 years and for the next few years, you'll see more and more companies offer these financial products. As that happens, what becomes critical is not just acquiring customers, but as you said, retaining them, right? Engaging them. And that comes down to two things: differentiation and personalization, right? Because think about it, right? 5 years from now, let's say there's 100 different options that you as a consumer can sign up for. Are you going to sign up for something that is the exact same as everything else, that one size fits all product? Probably not, right? What's going to make you sign up is a product that is unique, that solves your unique problem, right? So that's a differentiation point. The second point is around personalization. If you zoom out and you look at the tech industry, think about some of the products that you use the most, right? Whether that's Netflix or TikTok or YouTube or Google or Facebook, these products understand you, right? They understand you because you've had a relationship with them for years. And so when you go on Netflix, you might see the same content that I'm seeing, but because Netflix knows I like comedy and you like action, it'll show you different pictures and different text based off of who you are, right? So we're trying to bring that evolution to finance. As you look at these kinds of products, in banking, historically, we haven't necessarily considered the context that we have about you. And so by personalizing the product to each person, right, by giving me something that's unique to Ahon and not just to my broader demographic, I'm much more likely to use it. So in that future world of increased competition, the people that have unique products that actually solve for people's needs and that build the relationship with the customer with these hyper-personal products, those are the people that are going to succeed.
We have just seen, to your point there, the growth of fintech, right? And based on that technological advancement, that continuous kind of personalization, given the trend that we've seen and the kind of predictions you make kind of for the future, where do you see the future of technology and the financial space?
Yeah, great question. First, I think products are going to get more personalized, right? Whether it be those tech companies or now these financial companies, we as consumers are starting to expect that our products, whether they be entertainment and news, or they be food, or they be social media, that they understand us, that they are personalized to us, and that makes it more useful. So I think you'll start to see that trend across industries, whether that's in the technology industry, in the fintech industry, or beyond, because that's what's going to drive that engagement and stickiness. The second thing is the definition of money is going to change. 10 years ago, currency was always fiat and banking was always offered at banks. Today, you're seeing new companies that you would never imagine to launch financial services coming out with banking products, credit products, and beyond. And you're seeing cryptocurrency change the face of how currency interacts in a modern day environment. As we look into future years, expect to see companies that you wouldn't imagine, from insurance to gaming, like you were just talking about Microsoft, to tech companies and beyond, start to reimagine what finance looks like in their ecosystem and offer you brand new products you didn't think would exist. And finally, there's this concept of the underserved across the United States, which are tens of millions of people that are living either without financial services or with services that don't really serve their needs. Our goal is, in these partnerships with these kinds of innovative companies, to eventually eliminate the problem of the underserved. So every person, no matter how much money they have or where they live, can get access to human-centric financial services that understands them and treats them like a real person.
Glad you bring up that latter point, because it's something that I don't think we focus on as much, but in some parts of the country, 1 in 10 Americans don't have banking systems or access to banking. And so whether it's a geographical issue or service issue, there are solutions that need to be catered toward them. And certainly that presents opportunities for many companies. Really appreciate your insight. Ahon Sarkar, General Manager for Q2. All right, coming up.